Do you love organized religion? I feel like that phrase is almost a curse word in our times, isn't it? Organized religion sounds stuffy. It sounds corrupt. It sounds old school. It sounds complicated. A lot of people these days talk about being spiritual, but not religious. Religion is the place where the people up front in the fancy outfits just ask for your money and they make you feel guilty and they tell you that you have to come back or you're going to hell, and they're covering up their secrets and their sins, and there's probably some abuse and like that feels like the ugly religion. But over here is this relationship with God. Spiritual. It's independent. It's personal. It's not a building. It's this blessed connection I have with my Father in heaven. Now, recently we had a question and answer Sunday at our church, and someone asked me a very related question. They asked, how were pastors established? Like if we've seen so much of the ugliness of religion, where did pastors come from? Are pastors and organized churches a God thing that he wants for us despite all the flaws? Or is it like an optional thing and we can just be, spiritual and connected in our own way without a pastor, without a church family, without an official religion? All right, you ready for a really important teaching that might be challenging? God organized religion. He did, yeah. You might say that's very convenient for me to say, because I'm a pastor in an organized religion, but I'm not just saying this because I say it. I'm saying it because this says it. In both the Old and the New Testament, God himself organized religion. So very early in the Old Testament, back when God gave the 10 Commandments, when he was telling us to honor our parents and to love God more than anything else, to love our neighbor as ourselves, to not murder, to not steal, God also organized the people of Israel, this had actually just happened before, into these 12 tribes they were called, the 12 tribes of Israel. And through that, one of the tribes was the tribe of Levi. And God himself had organized that the Levites would be like the church workers, the priests. There was even a position called the high priest. This isn't just like a little footnote in the Old Testament. There are pages and pages and pages, the descriptions of the tabernacle, the temple where people would worship, the specific religious festivals that people had to attend, what the Levites did, what the priests did, what the high priests did, the sacrifices, the incense, all of it. Like God, it is incredibly organized in the Old Testament. And in the New Testament with Jesus, it is too. Jesus has all these followers, these disciples who are coming with him, and then he organizes them. He actually picks 12 of them to be apostles. And then he sends the apostles out on this mission to spread the gospel, and churches begin. Jesus himself, in the last book of the Bible, Revelation 2 and 3, he speaks directly to 7 different churches, and he doesn't say, "What are you doing? Why are you so organized? Let just people have a person." No, he doesn't say that. He corrects them and applauds them and rebukes them. He wants to still be organized just around grace and truth and the things that he taught. All right, so God's will for his people, both Old and New Testament, both back then and today, is that you and I would all be part of an organized religion. Here's a quick proof from Titus chapter 1. The Apostle Paul, inspired by the Holy Spirit, said, "Titus, the reason I left you in Crete," that big island in the Mediterranean, "the reason I left you there was that you might put in order what was left unfinished and appoint elders in every town as I directed you." So what was Titus supposed to do? Just encourage people to have a connection with Christ? He was supposed to find good elders or pastors, just like Paul told him, put them in every town, organize, put in order is the phrase, this religion, so that Christianity could thrive under this great structure that God always intended. So, if you're disconnected from a pastor, from a church, this is God's nudge. It's his word. It's his command to you to get reconnected. But if you're saying, But what about all the stuff, the sin, the cover-up, the scandal? The Apostle Paul wants you to keep listening. When he wants you to have a pastor or pastors in your life, he describes what kind of people they should be. He says in Titus 1 and in 1 Timothy 3 that they should be faithful in their marriage. They shouldn't be overbearing or quick-tempered. They shouldn't be drunks or violent. They shouldn't love money or pursue dishonest gain. Instead, they should be hospitable men, those who love what's good, who are self-controlled, upright, holy, disciplined, those who hold firmly to the trustworthy message as it has been taught, so they can encourage others by sound doctrine and refute those who oppose it. So, maybe God is saying something to both of us. He's saying to men like me, to pastors like me, to live up to this high and holy calling. And he's saying to many people like you to be connected to men like me, so I can teach you, love you, pray for you, counsel you, guide you, learn from you, bring you back to Jesus, give you the gifts of baptism and communion. And together, this can be what God has always intended it to be. A religion, a relationship that's organized and focused on Jesus. So the question, where do pastors come from? Answer, God.